It's currently 8 a.m. I'm filming early because I'm working on set this week, so kind of double booked myself, which I can handle if I don't do it too often, because then I have some burnout and then I cry. So I decided we would sit down and have our tea or coffee or whatever you're drinking. I drink matcha only. I actually haven't had coffee in 2 years. I took a food sensitivity test and it said I was super sensitive to coffee, so I cut it out and it literally changed my life. Like, I can go to the bathroom now before I could not. I have IBS. It's great. It's awesome. But matcha has really changed a lot for me. Anywho, we're going to sit down and talk about things that you should swap out in your house. Someone sent me this idea actually to my Instagram. It's called Swap This for That. And I thought this was kind of clever because then we can kind of talk about small things you can swap out in your house. Like, maybe it doesn't cost a ton of money, or if you're in the process of making decisions on your house and what decor you should get, then maybe this could be helpful before you move forward in that purchase. If you care, if you trust me, if you like my style, then this video is for you. So yeah, let's get started on today's early morning video of Swap This for That. Okay, the first item I think you should swap out are Ikea frames. I do think that they have gotten a lot better over the years, but these like cheap Ikea frames just feel very college dorm to me. Instead of getting an Ikea frame, or if you have Ikea frames and you want to upgrade, I suggest thrifting frames, because then you get something super unique that was probably at one point expensive. So you can go to your local thrift store or Goodwill. Another option is just to look on Etsy or eBay. They have vintage frames for sale all of the time and just around the same price as an Ikea frame. Another option is hitting up an estate sale, nothing like some old frames with some terrible art, but then you just replace the art. I actually thrifted this frame from Salvation Army and it had some weird art in it, and I took it out, painted that little chair, and put it in that thrifted frame. Or if you want a custom frame, what I do is I go to my local frame store and I choose from their leftover wood. They have all these leftover pieces that they used for a custom frame piece, and then it's like half off and so much cheaper. I mean, you still have to pay for it to be custom framed, but that's a way to kind of cut corners so that it's cheap. Everyone owns one of these throws. These just like really comfortable, fluffy throws. And no, I'm not saying to get rid of this throw. I'm just saying maybe don't put it on display. The really comfortable throws aren't the most attractive. So I say just put them in a little basket or under your TV console or somewhere just kind of tucked away in your living room, and swap that out with a throw that is a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Maybe it's a cool quilt, or maybe it's just a throw that isn't as comfortable, but it looks really nice in your space. And then when you're lounging and want that comfortable throw blanket, you can pull it out of the basket. All I'm saying is don't display the ugly throws that you own. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. I'm in therapy. My whole family is in therapy. I highly recommend therapy to anyone who is dealing with any type of struggle in their life right now. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. This is all virtual, so you can start communicating with someone within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional therapy. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network, which may not be locally available in many areas. This service is available for clients worldwide. And what's so amazing about this platform is you can log into your account at any time and message your therapist. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions with your therapist. And with BetterHelp being available online, it really eased the anxiety of getting started. Head to BetterHelp, HELP.com and use my code PaigeWassel for 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com, and use my code PaigeWassel for 10% off your first month. Thanks again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. I've talked about this in a few of my videos, but I'm not a huge fan of the bar cart look. Obviously, you can do it right. I just don't think I personally would have a bar cart in my home. I would rather have, a really cool like teak cabinet if I'm really going to ball out on my bar area. But for those who live in small spaces or don't want to buy this big piece to display, all of your barware on, I did bar shelves. I basically installed these shelves from Target and created like a little bar cart on the wall. So instead of getting a bar cart, switch it out for bar shelves. I just think it looks a little bit more sophisticated. It saves space. And I don't know, maybe the bar cart just went down like a really trendy path that made me dislike it, from Motel Makeover. If there's one thing that I really dislike when it comes to art is the like digital Etsy art, or just like art like this, like the digital downloads that you throw in your Ikea frame. And I think instead of downloading a digital art that's just very trendy and uninspiring, to me at least, to shop local. You can find local artists. I'll link a few sites down below where you can find really cool, affordable art. For me, it's important to have unique art. It's the one thing in your home that I think should be unique. And then another option is to actually ask like a younger sibling or like a kid or like your niece or nephew or the kids you're babysitting, bring them paints in the color palette that you like and have them just make something, because usually that turns out pretty incredible, like what a kid's mind can create. And then it just gets better with time. Any type of art that a friend makes for you or your niece or nephew and you frame it and put it up on your wall, it really does just get better in time because it's just a fun little like time capsule. And it doesn't even have to be good. Ugly art is in as well. We're lucky that ugly things are in right now. if you know what I mean. It's when something is so ugly that it's good. It's a trend that's happening right now that my mom will never understand. Unpopular opinion, I do not like wall hangings. If it's an authentic tapestry, sometimes just personally my style, I would not have a wall hanging in my house. But something that I would hang is a quilt. I think hanging a quilt on your wall is a unique way to hang fabric that doesn't look like this. I really don't like this. So I say swap it out for a unique quilt, something that's not super huge, maybe a smaller quilt. And then another option would be to hang a really old vintage rug. You got to be careful with this one because you don't want to just like hang a rug on your wall. You want it to be an antiqued vintage rug. But I really like the quilt idea. I don't know, anything but the tapestry. Okay, this is for a lot of the younger people who had string lights maybe in their college dorm, and then, you're in your first apartment, you're trying to feel a little bit more adult, and you have string lights hanging in your bedroom. I suggest swapping out your string lights or your LED lights for a plug-in pendant. Even just these paper pendants you can get really cheap off of Amazon or wherever, and then you can buy a string cord that plugs into your wall, just put a little hook up on your ceiling. Then you have a more sophisticated way to add light to your space that isn't string lights. So even if you are going into your freshman year and you're getting a college dorm, if you hung like a big pendant above your bed instead of string lights, you'll have the coolest dorm on the block. This next item that I think you should swap out, I actually want your opinions on, and that's like knife blocks. Some people have these knife blocks for years, literally years, and you wash your knives and you stick it in there, and I just feel like there's stuff in there. People have those for like 30 years, and it just kind of grosses me out. I don't know what's in there, or could it get dirty? And I don't even really think they look that good on your counter. Sometimes I feel like they take up a weird, awkward amount of space. Obviously, you can get a really nice knife block or whatever this is, but I say instead of having a knife block, save some space and put one of those magnet strips up on your wall or up above your sink, or maybe it's a magnet on your fridge. That's what I did. My fridge was right next to my stove, so I just put a little knife magnet on there. Do you really need the knife block? And they just kind of gross me out, unless I'm wrong on that. Or put them in your drawers. Just organize it in your drawers. So yeah, swap out your knife block. Is that even what it's called? Your knife block for a knife magnet. If you're struggling with your bed, I feel like finding that middle ground of I want my bed to be decorative and pretty, but I don't want to have to like throw a bunch of pillows and throws on it every day. I don't want to make my bed every single day with like all of this crap. I think the best solution to that, instead of having a bunch of small pillows on your bed, is literally just doing €2 pillows, obviously your sleeping pillows, then €2 shams, and then just one long lumbar pillow. It completes the bed, it makes it look sophisticated, and then you don't have a ton of little pillows that you have to deal with. In my home in Chicago, I had a lumbar pillow and it just like kind of completed the bed without having to put in a ton of effort. Also, sometimes it's fun to like hold a lumbar pillow when you're lounging. Let's talk about poofs. I'm not a huge fan of poofs, mainly because I feel like I don't love the fabrics that are offered on the poofs. It's just that boho design feel that I'm not a huge fan of. Obviously, you can find a poof that's in a nice fabric that might fit your space, but I don't know. Overall, I'm just not a big fan, especially the like circular ones. So instead, I would replace those with a more comfortable type stool like this. Maybe a vintage stool, something that's just a little bit more structured and maybe just doesn't feel as boho. So replace your poofs. So I would say replace your poofs with a more structured one with like a more modern fabric, or just switch all the way over to a more comfortable type stool like these. Oh, and then really quickly, I'm just going to throw this out into the wilds, and it's probably gonna piss a lot of people off and annoy people, but swap out your fake plants for real plants. Yeah, swap out your fake plants for real plants. Sorry. Well, hopefully this was helpful of items that you could swap out in your space. Keep sending me video idea suggestions. I feel like these are super helpful and it helps me create such fun content and gets my creative juices flowing. All right, I'm gonna finish up my matcha, go eat a banana, and then I'm heading to set. Gotta put on my sneakers because it's a prep day. We're gonna be collecting all of the props, creating all of the sets for the shoot that is on Friday. Yeah, also speaking of prop styling, if you want more prop styling videos, let me know. Just let me know what you want. Thanks for watching. I will see everyone next week. Looks like we're going on this nice Wednesday, Sunday streak for a while. Should be fun. Okay, bye.